was a panel on TV today by Stephanie Ruhle. And Stephanie asked economists, hey, what do you think about this jobs report, which was not as good as we expected to? And I think they were trying to put that, oh, the government may be helping people too much, why they are not going back to work, et cetera, et cetera. They didn't quite say that, but you could see that that was in the air. And this businessman, I think, blew that out of the water with his commentary. I want you to listen to this and see exactly what I'm talking about. Check this out.
Normally, higher wages is the number one thing to seduce people back into the workforce. Why isn't it happening?
I think that you've got people who are saying, can I get to survival? Right? So $15 an hour was really what people needed to just survive. If you were making $12 an hour and you're a family of 3 or 4, you're making $23,000, $24,000, $25,000 a year on a 40-hour week. So they're just getting to a point now with a $15 an hour wage rate where it's what I call a respectable living wage in most places. But that still is not enough risk reward for folks to go back into high risk jobs at a time where they see the Delta variant killing people at a stronger rate, as he just mentioned, as the original variant. And they don't see national leaders pulling together with the same message. I think there's a lot of erosion here, Stephanie, of confidence. All this stuff we've been talking in the last 4 or 5 years, people saying don't trust your government, national leaders saying don't trust your national government, it's starting to have an effect. People are now saying, okay, I'm not going to trust you. Okay, I'm going to trust me, and unfortunately, I'm going to trust the internet. And so they don't have daycare, they don't have health care, they don't have safe places to work. They're going $15 an hour is not enough risk. Oddly enough, who is taking that risk? College-educated white men who are getting paid more in compensation and in stocks. They're saying, I'll go back to work. Okay, so if you look at these numbers, white men are doing really well. Everybody else, by the way,
They always
is
do.
taking it in the tank. So this is the pivot to class versus race, which I've been talking about for years at Operation Hope. The new issue is green. The color is green, not red or blue or white or black, is green. And parents are saying, I'm not ready yet. I don't see confidence in schools. Workers are saying, I don't see a gateway to go to a sustainable job. Those seasonal jobs, those jobs were seasonal, by the way. And the people are saying, I'm going to go take a manufacturing job. It's less risk than working in this restaurant, and it's slightly higher pay. These numbers actually make a lot of sense when you actually look at them. And California is going to drop 2.2 million people from extended unemployment next week. By the way, 7.5 million people roll off of extended unemployment. So you're going to have a lot of data points in the next 30 days where some people are just forced to go back to work, by the way, because they got too much month at the end of their money. There's a lot to unpack here, but I think it's more than just the data itself.
You and I have been talking about a living wage for a very long time. Now that we are getting to better numbers, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and that doesn't seem to be changing.
The rainbow to the storm for this crisis has been a reset to a living wage. That's not going away. I was in Maui last week, and a retail store was advertising $15 an hour, plus benefits. That's not temporary. That's permanent. That's a good thing for the economy. We will all be able to manage that. I'm a small business owner. I pay my workers that or better. I think we'll all be just fine. I think the biggest point here, Stephanie, the pivot that we still need to make that I think will restore confidence and get us moved. By the way, Black folks were more than 50% lower on this report on unemployment. So I want to make sure that's also said. This was not all rosy news for all groups, particularly African Americans. I think all these groups at the bottom that are struggling with too much money into their money, Stephanie, are going to pivot to confidence when you see this infrastructure bill passed. If we get human capital infrastructure in here, training folks for the workers of the future or work for the future, robotics, AI, computing, technology, where we're going in the future, you're going to have the Marshall Plan of the 21st century. How do we recover from World War II? And we're at war right now. Be clear about it. It's just a war without bombs and bullets, okay? Every time you invest in the bottom of the pyramid in this country, in the last 100 years, 100 and plus years, the economy booms. Every time. That's statistically proven. And after World War II, the economy took off like a rocket because of the Marshall Plan. That was enough. It was more education, you shove down your throat. It was a mortgage for a new home, an apprenticeship for a job for the future. And that mostly benefited white men. That's where the white middle class came from, that everybody's benefiting from. We now need to have that again for this new generation. And I think you're going to see confidence soar and the economy boom, and we'll outrun inflation.
His statement is very important. And not only that, his care for the worker is important. Why should you risk your life working at minimum wage or a wage that's not a living wage? It doesn't make any sense. And when I came to the defense of my friend, Mr. Dr. Biden or President Biden, that's what I'm talking about. People got a chance to recalibrate with the stipend that they got from the government. People are going to say, oh, they're sitting on their butts doing nothing. Look, we have allowed the plutocracy to use Americans as antiseptic slaves for a very long time. They have been working for so much less than they're worth for such a long time. With all these guys getting tax breaks, giveaways, and everything, I am for giving people a rest. Give them a break so that they can recalibrate. And in that recalibration, companies are starting to find out that, okay, you don't want us to, you can't get the pelotas to pass a living wage. We will force a living wage because nobody's going to work for you unless you make it worth their while. And that is what's occurring. And that is what that pundit just said. Look, you're not going to go kill yourself on a job. Why do it? Why do it? It's not important. So we are having a major recalibration in society. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.